Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in with V. Today we got another great discussion. We're going to piggyback off of what we talked about on our last episode. So welcome again, Kawika, my son, who loves tuning in with us, as well as being able to share his thoughts and everything with us. Him and I, we go through these discussions all the time when we're in the car. No matter where we're at, we could be at home, we can watch a YouTube video, and something would just spark an interest. And so, like I said, we're going to piggyback off of our last discussion. So we're going to be talking more a little bit about it because we talked about waking up or just wasting away was our last episode. But this one is a little bit more serious. It's like you need to get serious or just stay sick. That's just where it's at, right? People don't really want to change and they're not willing to change their habits.
Change is a big thing. I feel like people like change, and then some people do not like change. So it just it's people's opinions about it,
I would like to know why. What's the root cause of you not liking that change?
I think it's a stem from something that was later on in their past. I think.
Something triggered it.
Yeah,
obviously.
Something had to trigger.
I was talking with someone about, for instance, I'm claustrophobic. And I says, no, you're not. Mm-hmm. You're just, mind effing yourself in your head.
Your mind makes you think you're claustrophobic.
You're wanting to be claustrophobic. No, I'm not. I've been like this since I was a kid. What seriously happened to you
when you were a kid?
When you were a kid that triggered that now becomes a mediator in your life, and you're trying to figure this out. But so obviously it stemmed somewhere, right? You weren't born that way.
Right.
It's like unless somebody is born that way and they were born sick, then they have the challenges. To me, God can heal anybody. If he really wants to, if that is your calling, he wants to utilize you to heal you, that's great. But most people that are sick today, they just want to. There's no willingness to change any of their habits to get better. Kind of like what we were talking about before. They really don't want to, stop drinking that soda or eating that sugar or, even eating tamales at the farmer's market.
Right.
You don't think I want a tamale?
Right.
I can make some killer ass tamales myself, but my family craves my tamales, and so I will make them once a year, and that's it.
We wait for Christmas to come around.
That's your indulge, and that's all you're gonna get.
Yeah.
We took away everything, but that was a habit we had to change. That we're not gonna be doing all the stuff, throughout the year.
Right.
So then, if we do indulge, we're going to have one or two, myself, and, if you guys are going to eat a plethora, a dozen or so, you already know you're going to reap what you sow.
She's talking about me.
Not just you, your dad and your brother too,
Yeah.
and, other people. I would literally get, just on that note, I would get I would make over 100 dozen personally, just myself.
Yeah.
And now I'm only making for my family. People are just like, yeah, she just eats healthy. She's not going to, hey, if that's what you want, I'm not opposed to making it for you, but I will let you know what are you going to do to your body, so.
My mom is one of those people, she'll do what you want her to do, but then she'll tell you, what's bad happening about it. She'll make you feel bad about your decision you made.
Well,
she has that
it's not even trying to make
somebody.
you feel bad. It's not even trying to make you feel bad. I'm seriously just educating you on what it is that you're doing. I have people tell me they're avoiding me. I'm walking around with that agua fresca, and it's like, oh no, I gotta go hide it. I don't want Virginia to see me.
You gotta hide on that side.
It's your choice, right? It's your choice if that's what you want to do. People tell me you're always in my head. I'm thankful that I could be in people's head. Hopefully it's a positive thing. If not, you're thinking about me anyway, and it's fine with me. But, does it benefit you? At the end of the day, does it benefit you? Because, habits begin with a thought process, right? If you're going to go get that agua fresca or that tamale at the farmer's market, it starts with the thought process. You chose like, oh, I'm craving that. Do you want to pay attention to that crave that is not actually beneficial kind of crave? Or you want to listen to the crave of going to go pick up some fruits and vegetables?
My mom made agua fresca the other day with me and my
And
brother.
they drank it all.
Me and my brother devoured it. Like, and it was not even a bad crave. Like, there was this, I'm not going to say any names, but there was this vendor that my mom used to get juice from. And we thought it was all natural and stuff like that. Yeah. And then found out that she was using sugars. And she was like, why am I craving it like this? Like, natural stuff, you should not be craving like that.
Yeah,
and
how many
bottles have you used to get?
Oh my gosh, like I would buy 7 to 8 bottles at $7 a piece. So I would, $42
she was making some bank
week,
off of you.
just off of me.
Yeah.
$42 a week off of me, and I kept wondering why rose water and
dragon fruit.
And the dragon fruit was so sweet. But if you go get a dragon fruit, put it in this bottle of water, it ain't gonna taste that sweet.
It's not gonna say, yeah.
No. So, but you think it is. Why? She's not using honey in there.
No.
I've asked her, are you using honey?
Even
and I was
honey,
like, rose water, rose don't taste, you could taste the rose.
Yeah, even honey is not that addictive either.
So then she tried to tell me she put guava in it.
No.
And I was like, oh, okay, well wait, guava ain't that sweet
Guava's
either.
not that sweet. It's really bitter.
I'm like, it was sweet like the bottom of a pineapple sweet.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh my gosh. And then her watermelon, I could understand if watermelon tastes like that because watermelon could be naturally sweet.
Right, yeah. Has that water base
It's just because it's a cold pressed juice is what Kawika is trying to say. It's a cold pressed juice that I was buying. And there was a couple other ones there that are very questionable. So, I'm glad you brought that up because I was craving it. And I would drink like 3 of them in one day. And then I was wondering, why the heck wasn't I not losing some weight? And I'm doing all this other healthy stuff, but I'm thinking because I'm buying it for my friend and she says she's making cold pressed juice. But then I bought a cold pressed juicer. And then I started cold pressing some stuff that I bought from. It should not
be that addictive.
And it's not, well, you can crave the fruits and vegetables like that
over time, yes.
But it's not going to be like that feeny that I was craving. Like, oh my gosh, like
it's
I want it. Like when your saliva in your mouth, right?
Yeah.
Gets like, that's what I was craving.
It's not going to be like that. When you actually have something natural, it's not going to be like that because you should not be craving something that bad.
Exactly.
And getting an excessive amount, I say seven bottles is an excessive amount. Like 3 is understandable for throughout the week, yes, but 7.
Well, then I was getting the pomegranate acai, I think one that she had there too, and then I started making my own pomegranate and stuff, and I was like, it's not as sweet as hers was.
But the agua fresca my mom
made, put sugar.
The agua fresca my mom made was addictive in a good way because me and my brother just craved it like all the time.
I used strawberries.
Yeah, she used strawberries.
My distilled water.
Guava and then...
No guava, it was just strawberries. That was just strawberries. The one that you guys devoured the other day?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just strawberries. And honey. And honey. That's it. Just honey.
Yeah.
So I'd rather make that, and we don't have that all the time. And then I make it to where, like, if this is all concentrated with the honey, and then I will take portions of this for a big pitcher and use that as the concentrate and put that and to make agua fresca. It's just supposed to lighten up the water and flavor the water, not, drinking it straight up. Then not even drinking, if that was the case, just all that honey and fruit, that is way too much. That's just way too much for the body.
Right.
But yeah, it's like you have to start with healthier habits. If you're going to go from soda to agua fresca, make your own, right? Instead of you doing something like that. But most people are not willing to make healthy habits. They don't want to. We talked about healthy habit with your face, right? With you being consistent and cleaning your face, and your face is looking a
lot better.
A lot better. You're like 80% cleared up right now.
Yeah.
And that is fabulous, but it begins with diet. So, if you have an acne problem, I'm going to tell you it's mucus and pus coming out that wants to excrete out of your body. Because what goes in your body got to come out 2 ways, right?
I don't like the sound of mucus and pus coming out of my face.
Pee, poop, and skin that it got to come out, right? It sounds gross. But when you're putting that bread at the farmer's market in your throat, that cinnamon roll, that's mucus and pus.
Yeah. And you know what the thing is that when there's this also the restaurant that we worked on Sunday, or the coffee shop. They sell these bagels, and it was really simple. It was just bagel, cream cheese, and goat cheese with some fish. It was really easy to make.
Oh, like a smoked salmon.
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It was
yeah,
really
yeah.
easy to make.
With
and
the
we had-
cucumber, I think they
With the
put too.
cucumber. And it was so easy to make, but they're charging like $6 for it. And it was for one bagel. And I was like, I can make that at home for twice as much for a quarter of the price.
I mean, that's a good habit to start,
Right.
right?
But then also the bread isn't the most healthiest. The fish isn't
Right.
the most healthiest. And sometimes
Well,
the cream cheese is not the most
all that was
healthiest.
mucus and pus.
Right,
The only healthy thing was a cucumber.
right. And so it was like...
So just eat the cucumber.
Just eat the cucumber. Yeah. And it's
But
like,
if you're like, I want the onion bagel-y taste, then throw
Right.
some onion bagels
like,
seasoning on top.
Yeah. It's horrible.
You know, but I mean, it's serious. But that's the habit. That's the beginning habit to change.
Right.
Instead of buying it, make it yourself.
Right.
And then go to the next level, right? Understanding that bread and that cream cheese and, is going to be mucus and pus. Like, I made a bagel and I was showing it with people on my Instagram. Make a bagel. I put hummus on it instead of the cream cheese. And then I put some cucumbers and I put some artichoke hearts from one of our vendors that sells some stuff. And then you could even throw some healthier fats on there, like some olives. And they were like chili marinated with the, what is it called? I don't want to chop it up, but they're chili spice that they have, the Mediterranean chili spice. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Harissa, I think it is called. And you put that, I put a little bit of that, it's mixed with the olives, put that on there, and it was great. But I knew I was going to pay for the bagel.
Right.
I mean, and then it's like, yeah, it's not all that great. So I'd rather just eat that with the cucumbers, eat all that context with the cucumbers, and guess what? I don't have no problems.
Yeah.
So it's like, I realize with our habits, we're addicted to the condiments.
Right.
We're addicted to the sauces, right? So like if we're eating an onion bagel or everything bagel, it's the seeds on the everything bagel and the salt. Like my mouth just watered thinking about it. Or the crispy onions or the blueberry bagels. We want the blueberries, it's not the bread.
See, the thing is with me, if I make a bagel, I always have like some hot sauce on it.
And that's fine.
That's my thing. I am the hot sauce.
And that's fine, but I mean, the point of it is making the healthier habits, right? Most people want like the cinnamon roll. Like you would eat the cinnamon roll from time to time, and I would tell you, watch it, you're gonna have that attitude problem, But what you're addicted to is a cinnamon.
Right.
So why not just go get an apple or a pear and throw some cinnamon on it?
And that I was doing that for a while. And
you started seeing your face clear up a lot better.
Right. Yeah, and even with that, it was like it opens your eye a little bit for the reality to kick in. And it's like, oh, like I could actually start making some changes. But since you don't know it all, you have to go to people like her to get information, and get help. And so it's people's naiveness and stubbornness is not helping their situation to learn and actually communicate with people and get help for the benefit of themselves.
Right.
And so that separates people that are better and healthier versus people that we see at Costco, like last episode.
Yeah.
We talked about.
I remember a time that when your brother was in the hospital, I used to love to go to the Tommy's Burger place in downtown LA on my way home. And I would love to get the chili cheese fries.
Right.
And I thought I was addicted to the chili cheese fries. You know what I was addicted to? Those stinking peppers.
Really?
The peppers, the chili peppers. So then I just started going to the store and buying a jar of the peppers, and that's just what I wanted.
I would think it would be the salt from the fries.
Well, I think a little bit the salt and spicy with the peppers, but even my mouth waters thinking about the peppers. But it's like I'll take one of those and eat that with some cucumbers and hummus then.
See, but that's the thing. that's
I try to stay
also
away from the hummus
the
too now.
salt too is a big factor in a lot of foods. The sodium, like and
Oh yeah, that's just as addictive.
what's the most famous drink in the world?
Gatorade.
No, like
What?
soda,
Oh, Coke.
Coke. If you look in the back, there's a lot of sodium in it, right, and a lot of carbon dioxide. But that's the thing that gets people
Outside of the sugar?
Outside of the sugar, but the salt is the addictive part.
You're like this much sugar. I mean, this much salt. This much sugar.
Right.
Blech.
And that's how they produce it, is so now you can get addicted to it. And that's the big part that plays in a lot
Because
of
it causes you to be thirsty,
right.
dehydrates you.
And then you want more.
And you want more.
And then you get more, and then you want
and
more.
then you become addictive, and then it starts, you know, doing the neurons in your brain, and then
Right.
that's where it becomes addictive.
Yeah, because like potato
Like
chips.
they know what they were doing.
Like potato chips. Potato chips isn't the most healthiest, but it has a crunch, just like an apple.
So you want the crunch.
So you want the crunch.
So eat a cucumber.
Right, but there was a study that an apple, people thought it was healthy because it was potato chips, because it has a crunch like a potato or an apple. So they were eating it, not knowing that the sodium was getting them addicted.
Yeah.
And it's like when you're naive to it, I understand, but then when you know it and you're constantly doing this over and over again, and it's right in front of your face, then there's no person to blame but yourself. You know, so I think that's an eye-opener for a lot of people too.
Well, I mean, you'll constantly hear me say, seeking knowledge is key.
Right.
You know, but that's how God says for us to be wise, you know, is to seek the knowledge. And when you were seeking that knowledge, understand the understanding of behind that knowledge, right? You got to understand it. So it's like not just not eat the bagel because it's a carbohydrate and it'll make you slow and sluggish. Know that that is mucus and pus forming, and it's going to do X, Y, and Z to your intestines and to your colon and to your respiratory system and your reproductive system and to your neurological system. I mean, every system you have in your body, that mucus, that one bagel is going to jack it all up.
All right.
You know, so if you understand that, then you're like, well, why the heck do I want that bagel again?
That makes you not want a lot of things.
Yeah, but it goes back to, like you were just saying, the education, right? The knowledge, seeking the knowledge. So, you know, habits begin with a thought process, right? I mean, when you start thinking, you wake up like, I want that craving of coffee. Nice. I mean, I love the smell of coffee. I absolutely adore coffee smell. I mean, I would have coffee candy, coffee ice cream, coffee anything. I would just smell coffee. I would have coffee just to smell it. I wasn't addicted to the coffee. I was addicted to the smell of the coffee, right? I mean, even coffee chapsticks or whatever, just so I could smell it. I loved that, but that's all connected to your brain, right? So when you're breathing, like, oh yeah, you know, like I think it's the Folgers commercial way back in the day. It's like, oh, wake up to a fresh cup of Folgers. You're just like in awe with the coffee. You need some coffee?
No.
And so, you
I
know,
need some mushroom coffee,
get,
maybe.
I know, right? And so, you know, what do you call without the coffee? You need
Without the
mom's coffee.
Yeah, I need your
My mushroom coffee-less coffee. And so, yeah, you're just waking up to this whole thought of having coffee. And so you're thinking of it in your head, and it's not really the coffee you're addicted to. It's the smell of the coffee that you're addicted to. But they're trying to get it to you so you can become addicted, just like the caffeine, just like the sodas and so forth. But they're not creating any healthy habits. But it does start with the thought process. You really need to start thinking like, these thoughts that I have are going to become my actions that I'm going to start executing.
And then the reason, because people are not having these thoughts of waking up and seeing what the problem is because of the foods. It's because they're making them foggy-minded. It's because they're making their thoughts messed up. And they're not realizing, they're not cutting it out, and they're not realizing that the food is a problem.
Oh yeah, it's going to become a serious detoxification.
And that's why people are not looking at the big pictures, because of the food. And it's messing. I won't say manipulating. It's kind of.
I think it is.
Well, yeah, the
you.
food industry is manipulating people, but it's not the manipulation that is the food's fault. Is the
The hands behind it?
The hands behind it, yes. And so when people are so like covered in all of this and they don't know and they keep on adding to it, they'll never get closer to the solution.
Oh no! I mean, that when you said that, that made me think about this thing I saw on, I don't know. I think I saw it on Instagram or something, and they were talking about this population of people that they have on an island and making it like all houses and have these people, and they're making them think that this is the best place in the whole wide world to live at, and that there's no other existence. Everything outside of here is bad. You know, so it's kind of like, well, what's the motive? What's behind it? Like, they really don't know any better. And there are people here that don't know any better. They just don't know that the way, you know, them growing up eating McDonald's and chicken nuggets and fries was okay. I mean,
it's all control.
Yeah, but I mean, if you've seen my Instagram, you've seen how I put out there lately. I've been putting out a lot of just, you know, how they're making some of this stuff. So want to educate, you know, the viewers and letting them know that, hey, this stuff is out there. And I think you've only had maybe a few chicken nuggets in your life, thank God.
In my life.
But your brother has had nothing from
None.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. I mean, so like you were talking about on our last episode, that if that 78-year-old woman, you know, would have had been introduced
Started
to eating
younger. Right.
she would have been probably feeling a lot, you know, maybe not look 50 now, she probably look 40 now,
maybe
at 78, you know, or even 30, if she knew it longer, right? If she knew these healthy habits, right? But the benefit your brother will have versus you or myself.
Right, it's enormous.
Because he's never had McDonald's anything.
Right.
You know, so that is just phenomenal. I mean, there's not a lot of kids his age today that can say they never had anything from, not even a French fry from McDonald's. So, I mean, they're like, oh, he's missing out. What, on a bunch of toxic stuff that's killing him, chemicals? It's not even a French fry. You know, I mean, a lady had a hamburger for like 20 some years in her closet in a shoebox, and it still looked the same. It didn't even grow mold on it. Years ago when you were little, I don't know if you remember the little science project I did with the string cheese.
I remember the Cheeto.
The Cheeto, okay.
I remember you lit the Cheeto on fire and it blew up in flames.
Yeah. So imagine what it's doing in your stomach.
I remember that, and we all like screamed and backed up because she was holding it and she lit it up.
Because you wanted to eat it.
Yeah, and she lit it up and it just. I was like, what the and we all screamed and backed up, and it was so weird. And it was sitting in the sink, and my mom poured water on it, and it looked the same. Yeah. It looked the same, and I was like,
Yeah, and even the string cheese, I opened it up. I left it on the counter for over a month. And it didn't even get hard. Like regular cheese gets hard. That oil turns into really hardness. I can't describe it, but it gets real hard on the edges.
Oxidization.
Yeah, and so that string cheese didn't even do that. And here we're like, oh, let's give it to our kids and we'll just eat it. And that's the last time you had string cheese, you know. And I was like,
I remember
wow.
we used to buy string cheese a lot.
Yeah, because I thought that was what we were supposed to do.
Right.
You know, I mean, I thought that you needed to have the milk, and realize now that the only people that need, or only living thing that needs cow milk is baby cows. Nobody else.
That's the only reason why they have milk is not
it
for us to drink. It was not for us to drink.
No.
If it comes from an animal, it was not for us to eat.
No.
Besides like bees and honey, but that's it.
Yeah.
And there's no other explanation from it but manipulation. So
absolutely.
It falls down to control and steps of what control you have.
Yeah, well, because people too are so stuck in their comfort zone right now.
Right. Well,
they want to be in their comfort zone.
I feel like people should, and this is my opinion, and I'm not saying that this is what everybody should do, but people should get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Thank you for saying that, son, because your life begins in the beginning of your uncomfortness.
Right. Because it's uncomfortable for you to be born when you're born. You know, you come out screaming and crying, and it's uncomfortable.
You're like, hey, you just took me out of my comfort zone.
And then it's uncomfortable for you to buy your first car or pay rent or pay your first pair of taxes, you know, or get, you know, a bunch of other stuff. And it's really hard. Or it's uncomfortable to do school. And it's like...
Was it uncomfortable for you to start high school?
Yes. It was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable for me to start middle school. It was an eye opener because I was not prepared for running to classes. I was late the first couple of days for middle school.
Yeah.
I was.
Yes, you were.
I was late, and then it got more uncomfortable coming into high school now, and so I guess I'm kind of used to it a little bit for high school, but just because it was uncomfortable, me making that big progression, you know, so it get comfortable being uncomfortable. So
Yeah, yeah. So people, they're stuck in their comfort zone. They don't want to. Honestly believe people, like we've mentioned this before several times, that they just want to keep talking about it. They want to keep complaining, But if not, I mean, if you're not going to get serious, stay sick.
right.
Like stay sick. If you're going to put your life in the hands of somebody else and, hope for the best, so be it. That's your choice. I mean, that's one thing that God cannot turn over is the free will that he gave you. It's all your choice. It's just not your free will to choose him versus Satanism. It's in the world. It's up to you to choose whatever it is that you choose to, take into your life. It is absolutely entirely up to you. So it depends. When are you ready to get uncomfortable? Right? I mean, I know that I was uncomfortable when I made that decision when we thought your brother was going to die again. Like he was so sick again. And I was like, no. So I was extremely uncomfortable. And it was extremely uncomfortable for me to take over $600 worth of stuff as a single mom and throw that, and just give it away. Who gives away over $600 as a single mom? Like,
Right.
I
mean, rich people.
I never had anybody give me, as a single mother, $600 worth of anything.
Wealthy people,
Yeah, but
I
I'm
mean,
not
it's
wealthy. I was a
yeah,
single
we're not
mom.
wealthy. We're single mom. We're middle class.
Right.
And so
Well, maybe.
a little bit under middle class, here and there. It varies, but it's a lot for people to be uncomfortable, and then it was uncomfortable for me to be raised in a hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, Kenny was in the hospital for how long?
5.5 months.
5.5 months. So we were in the hospital for 5.5 months, and I learned how to play Uno on the windowsill of the hospital.
I know your colors.
And know my colors.
I know your
and
numbers.
know my numbers.
And your shapes.
Right. And so it was a lot, but it was uncomfortable for me to be there and see my brother in a box.
And you were only 4.
And I was only 4. And I remember it like yesterday. I used to stand at the edge of the box and look at my brother being pumped with tubes and his little chest beating. And it was uncomfortable to be in that situation, me wanting a brother.
And it was uncomfortable for me to separate myself and not take care of you the way I needed to, and your sister and your brother and your other sister, who was pregnant at home.
I feel like now, when I'm older right now, and I realize that was an uncomfortable phase for me because I wanted a brother so bad, and then even if Keone, let's just say he was to pass away, that would have been uncomfortable. So you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable and have to go through those situations, because if someone asked me if I would do that again, I would probably say no. Or I'm pretty sure you would say no.
Would you do it again to get the results that you got now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because if I wasn't going to get the same results I was right now, then there would be no effort for me to put in.
But I think of it as we never know. And to just piggyback off of that, I mean, we never know what God's going to take us through,
Right. I mean,
until we're uncomfortable. We have to trust him, and I trusted him enough to know.
If God were to put a plan, my future in front of me, and it was a hellhole, and I wouldn't want to go through it, then I would say no.
Yeah.
Or if it was trials and tribulations, and I had to go do something, or my leg got amputated or something, and I have to play soccer, I wouldn't want to have to go through that. But it's the progress and stages you are in that makes you go through that.
Would you say people are stuck in their comfort zone? Because I think they are. They're stuck. They're stuck to, like you were talking about before, like they're stuck to not know what to do.
I believe people are stuck in their comfort zone and the stage of life they're in. because in the stage of life you are in, you can grow to be out of your comfort zone.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
you can
I
progress,
agree.
and change is a lot. Like how we started off this conversation in this episode is like change is a big thing. And so when you can change to be uncomfortable from being comfortable and the stages in your life, I think that can matter a lot.
Yeah, I mean, simple things like instead of going to the grocery store, go to the farmer's market.
Right.
That would be a nice habit, like we were talking about, to change. That'd be a nice habit of a thought process. Like I'm actually going to get up every morning on a Saturday or Sunday or whatever day that is your local farmer's market is at, and choose to go there and buy my fruits and vegetables there,
Because-
and not have to go every week
Yeah.
versus going only one time a month.
Because the
And going to
people
Costco.
at our farmers market, I have met someone at the bread line, or even at the to get vegetables. They have an alarm clock for a Saturday at 7 in the morning to get up to go to the market, and it's interesting because it's like it shows the habits of people and the change they were willing to commit into their lives just to get some food and have some socialization.
Oh, just the socialization. I mean, I think our bread line is bigger than our vegetable line. I would like to see all those people getting sea moss and elderberry syrup.
It is.
I mean, not just so I can make some money, but I'm saying like that would benefit them. Like
Yeah.
I think if I gave it to them, they probably wouldn't take it. They'd eat the bread.
But imagine if we didn't have the bread.
Oh, if we didn't
Our
have the
market
bread,
would be dead.
yeah, absolutely. But it's like those people, this is like what we're talking about. You know, a lot of them, they'll talk to me and they'll be, because my booth is right next to the bread line.
Right.
And I see this massive line, about more than 50 people. And you're like, well, I don't know. I mean, they want to come into my booth just so
They could get some shade.
they get some shade if it's hot. But, you know, I'm like,
Yeah.
excuse me, you can't be in my booth for insurance purposes if you're not, you know, if they trip, fall, whatever, especially the elderly. And so we'll get another canopy out for them so they're not out in the heat. But it's like, you know, they don't want to get out of that comfort zone. Like they're stuck. They're not sure. They'll ask me questions, but then they're just like unsure of what should they do. You know, it's like, you know, they'll spend $5 every Saturday, right, on bread. $5 for a whole loaf. For each loaf at our market is $1. So they'll buy $5 of loaves of bread worth, right, every week. And if there's 5 weeks, that's $5, $10, $15, $20, $25. But they won't spend $30 a jar. Or even when it was $25 a jar. You know what I'm saying?
That will last you a month.
That will last you a whole month.
Yeah. And even longer if you freeze it.
Yeah. And so it's like, this is what we're dealing with the people's
kinda-
mentality. Like they are literally stuck in their thought process of how to make it a
That
change.
reminds me of the person that used to buy Starbucks every week.
Oh.
Yeah. So that it's like, you're saving all this money, but if you look at it from the bigger picture, you use $30 to spend for 1 month and even longer versus $5 that adds up every week. Even if every other week you will still double the amount that you are spending then versus getting the jar and getting the bread. You know, and it doesn't make sense. Just to make your body worse versus buying something that's beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that on a previous episode, that we're literally paying people
To kill us.
To kill us.
Yeah, voluntarily.
Yep. You are
right under our nose.
voluntarily sabotaging your immune system, your whole functionality of your body. And you're like, no, I'm not. It's like, what did you just put down your throat? You know, like you paid someone to kill yourself. And it doesn't really make any sense to me. But it's like, this is where I wanted to say that people want to, they desire it, but they still have no clue on how to do it. They just don't. It's like, this is where you find your holistic practitioner. You interview them. You talk to them. You talk to your nutrition counselor, someone like myself. I spend at least 20 to 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes speaking to the person first, which I call like a complimentary consultation to the consultation, and just see if we like each other. Because I mean, how many times have you gone to the doctor or somebody, you know, a chiropractor, anybody you've given service to, and you're like, I don't like this fool. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like, they don't know their head from their rear end. And so
Yeah.
why do I want to deal with them, right? Well, at least that gives you that opportunity because maybe you don't like me. Maybe you fall in love with me. Maybe I don't like you. And I get that choice to not work with you, or you get that choice not to work with me.
Right.
And then if we decide if everything falls in line, all the
Consultation.
T's are crossed and I's are dotted and everything, we're going to sing Kumbaya together, then, you know, we move forward. You know, I mean, I think that's a great way of being able to show people like, hey, you know, you have the ability to question me on my knowledge, get to see where I'm at. How am I going to help support you to make us a nice, you know, together, you know, but people just don't have no clue on what to do. So their life is, your life is really depending on this change.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
My mother's a lot more nicer than me. I would not have a pre-consultation to a consultation. She is more like more emotional and like more giving than me in business wise.
Yeah.
I would say, here's my worth. You have a consultation. You pay for it. If you don't like me, then bye. But I'm not going to spend my time on someone that's not going to pay me to do something to benefit you. You know. But that's just my opinion on how it is. But her running her business is completely separate. But if that was my business, that's how I would run it. And
I mean, I don't give any recommendations.
No.
You know, because I need to understand this person's full life before I can understand what I can recommend for them. But I'm not going to do that. I mean, I just think it gives us an opportunity to have a meet and greet.
It's like an interview.
I mean,
It's an interview.
I mean, do I like you?
Yeah.
I mean, because I've seen, you know, right now you're so young, but when you get older, you're going to come across meeting certain people and you're like, I don't want to be your friend, or I don't want to do business with you. I don't want to have you to service me with anything.
Right.
And why am I going to pay you to service me and I don't even like you?
Yeah. That's like working for a boss that
you know. So that's why I do it Zoom. I do it Zoom, or we talk on the phone.
That's actually,
you know.
That's actually a good example. Is like you're working for someone that you don't like is your boss. You know, and like why would I help you if I don't like you?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know how many jobs that I've said, I'm done, I'm out, I don't like your ethics, I don't like anything about you, I gotta go.
Or why would I do something that I don't like voluntarily?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
So yeah, so I mean, just understanding that your life is really depending on this change. You know, we need to stop making so many excuses and start taking the action. Like right now, like we have a previous episode, you can go back, I had a special guest, and you know, we need to start taking action right now. Like right now, it's never too late. Like you said, it's okay if you learn, if you learn when you're a teenager like him, that's a win-win right there, I think.
Right.
But it doesn't matter if you're in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, or even if you're in your 80s, like my mother-in-law, who's like, no, like I want to, you know, she's still functionable. She's able to walk and take the bus by herself and do all these other things by herself. Thank God she's able to do those things. But she's not going to be able to do those things if she continues to eat the way she does. She still moves and she's mobile, but you know, you're not going to be able to if you're still eating stuff that's like we're talking about that's killing you. You know, those 15 tortillas a day, you know, over 5 tortillas a day, that's horrible. You shouldn't be eating that much, you know. So, you know, those are things that we need to consciously start making those good choices and habits now, you know, because your health is your biggest asset. Your health is not a game. It is an asset.
Your life is benefiting off of it.
I think we play our game like Russian. We play our life. Excuse me, not our game. We play our life like the game, like Russian roulette. We're gambling.
Yeah.
We're gambling. We're gambling like Russian roulette. I mean, you throw Russian roulette, you throw the dice on there and hope that the wheel spins the way it's supposed to land, and it's going to land on your number. You know, I mean, the only thing I can guarantee you is you continue to eat the way you are, you're going to get cancer, you know, or you'll get high blood pressure or diabetes, or, you know, you're going to have some type of chronic disease. You're going to have major inflammation. That's going to be a given if you're eating refined sugars and trans fats. That is a given. You're doing dairy products, you know, that's going to be a given. All these things that are going to happen to you because you're not making those right choices, you're not making those right actions, that is going to play a big factor. So your health is not a game, people. It is really the biggest asset you absolutely have. This is your temple. We have to honor every single little thing that God is giving you. You know, I mean, this guy constantly has asked me, you know, like, what should I do, Mom? Like, what should I be when I get older? And what should I, you know, and my answer is always what?
What God has planned for you.
Whatever God wants for you.
Yeah.
You know, and I think if we really stop and pull ourselves back, I mean, what does God really want us to do? Does he want me to start eating all that food and stuff that I'm eating? I'm not going to be able to serve him and fulfill the purpose that I have in this life, you know, the way I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
You know, so we really need to just start up with some good healthy plans, because if not, if we're not getting serious enough, people, then you know what, just stay sick. Just don't even complain about it anymore. Just stay sick and allow the system and its systems to continue to destroy you. So with that being said, I hope everyone enjoyed this episode today. Thank you for tuning in. Please feel free to comment, share, and like, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions or anything and you want to reach out to me personally, please feel free to hit me up on my Instagram, Vitality with V. Hit me up in the bio. My link tree is there. And you could email me, call me.